Let's go. Lieutenant Governor Oliver, Senate President Scutari, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, Majority Leaders Ruiz and Greenwald, Minority Leaders Orojo and DeMeo, my legislative partners, especially the rockin' bipartisan escort committee which led me into this chamber, Chief Justice Rabner, Judge Grant, members of the cabinet, senior staff, happy birthday, Dennis. Dennis, get off your phone. Former Governor Jim McGreevey, First Lady Tammy Murphy, two of our four children, Josh and Sam Murphy, are in the house. Distinguished faith leaders, Rabbi, Father in particular, honored veterans, first responders, leaders in organized labor, special guests, friends, and my fellow New Jerseyans. It is my pleasure to present my proposed budget for the 2024 state fiscal year. It is a budget designed with a singular purpose: to continue building the next New Jersey. A New Jersey where every family can afford to make their American dream come true. A New Jersey where every child could see their opportunity in our common future. A New Jersey where our seniors can afford to retire and live in dignity. A New Jersey that leads the nation in responsible, common sense, and far-reaching solutions to the economic, social, and environmental challenges we currently face, and is prepared to take on those not yet identified. A New Jersey that attracts the world's greatest companies, and at the same time where small businesses can grow and succeed, and even more importantly, find the dynamic workforce they need. And a New Jersey where every member of our statewide family is respected for who they are, who they love, where they came from, how they live, and how they worship. This is the next New Jersey, a New Jersey that leads with compassion and understanding, a New Jersey that invests in the futures of all of our people, not just some, a New Jersey that lives up to its responsibilities and doesn't push them off onto the shoulders of the next generation. But here's the thing. The next New Jersey isn't some far-off vision. The next New Jersey is here, and it's happening right now. Now, at the same time, I know that some of you don't feel certain of your place in that next New Jersey. First, it was the pandemic, and now it's inflation. You've been paying more for everything from gas to groceries, and your paycheck hasn't kept up. It's been tough on your finances and on your mental health. This isn't abstract to me. I remember as a kid growing up with a father who didn't finish high school and a mom who worked as a secretary. Struggling paycheck to paycheck was a reality to keep food on our table and provide me and my three siblings with as good a life as possible. These experiences helped define me, and these memories live large within me. They fuel my drive to ensure everyone has a place in that next New Jersey. So know this budget was built with you in mind to secure your place. For the third year in a row, it has no new taxes and more middle-class tax relief. It will help hardworking families by expanding free pre-K for your kids. It will lower prescription drug costs for our seniors. This entire budget is purpose-built to help you find your place in the next New Jersey by securing your place in the New Jersey of right now. Indeed, this is a budget focused on the pocketbooks of our families. It provides more direct tax relief to help folks out from under stubborn inflation, which makes it so hard to cover the basics. And with this budget, we will, all of us together, will have cut taxes for our working and middle-class families and our seniors a total of 18 times since we began working together in 2018. 18 tax cuts. And further, this budget will help insulate our state for uncertain economic times. None of us hopes for an economic downturn, that's for sure. But should one occur, we will be on a far stronger footing to react in real time to ensure that critical investments can continue, that our economy can be backstopped, and that vital safety nets can be quickly put up so no one falls through the cracks. This kind of rainy day thinking had previously been absent in Trenton. It's why during past recessions, we were both slow to react and even slower to recover. But the next New Jersey prepares for the future. This is a future which we are determined to make more affordable and full of opportunity. And one of the highest barriers to affordability in New Jersey is property taxes. We hear it from the people we meet. We know it ourselves. So this budget leads with historic property tax relief. For far too long, leaders from both parties, frankly, have stood at this podium talking around property taxes without actually doing anything real about them. Well, we stopped talking about them and did something. Working together, you and I, we have provided more property tax relief to make living in New Jersey more affordable than any governor and legislature in our history. And that's not conjecture. The facts bear this out. Next month, more than 1.5 million families will receive direct property tax relief through the Anchor program we came together to create. And by the way, thank you. The deadline for Anchor, by the way, happens to be midnight tonight. So if you have not yet applied for your Anchor property tax relief, go to anchor.nj.gov. That's anchor.nj.gov. Number of people leaving the chamber as I say that. So why is this important? I'll tell you why. A middle-class family making our state's average household income of just under $125,000 and paying our statewide average of more than $9,400 in property taxes is going to receive a $1,500 check in direct relief, effectively pushing their property taxes down to a level not seen in a decade. That's right, for many homeowners, their property tax burden is going to be lower than it was in the year 2013. That is action and not talk. One of these recipients is Hazlitt's Michael Matisich, who is with us today. Michael, stand up and take a bow, buddy. And here's the even cooler part. His Anchor benefit is going to greatly augment the $250 property tax deduction he also gets for being a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. God bless you, buddy. Michael, thank you. And to all of our veterans, we thank you for your service. And what's even better, for folks like Michael, the budget I am proposing today will fully fund a second year of Anchor. That means a second year of direct tax relief, property tax relief, for up to $1,500 for homeowners, and importantly, $450 for renters. It means that in the past 2 years, we, all of us, will have committed $4 billion to direct property tax relief, alleviating one of the single greatest and longest standing affordability challenges our state faces. But we all know there are other challenges facing our families, like the cost of raising a child and access to child care. When the federal government failed to renew the federal child tax credit, we worked together to fill the void at the state level. And I welcome you to join me again in partnership to continue to support our families. We all know that New Jersey is the very best place in America to raise a family. And to make this fact ring true for more families, I propose doubling the state child tax credit up to $1,000 per child. This will give working and middle-class parents an even bigger tax break. And for parents who are also juggling the cost of child care, it will partner with our child and dependent care tax credit to do even more to lower their costs. We will also continue our work toward universal pre-K with a more than $1 billion total investment, an increase of nearly $110 million over the current year. So pre-K isn't just a smart investment in early childhood education, and we know it is, an investment proven to pay dividends throughout that child's life. But it's also an investment in working families. The cost of full-day child care can easily eat $20,000 of a family's budget every single year, frankly, if not more. For many middle-class and working families, and especially for single parents, this cost can put high-quality child care completely out of reach. And it leaves too many parents, disproportionately moms, with no alternatives other than cutting back on hours or even leaving work entirely, putting their family's financial future on hold. So every new seat we create in a pre-K classroom makes life more affordable for working parents. And as we stand with you as you raise your children, we are standing with you as you retire and spend time with your grandkids. Let's ensure more senior homeowners living on fixed incomes can stay in the homes they love, which are full of memories, and remain as well close to their families. This budget will greatly expand the successful Senior Freeze property tax relief program, increasing income eligibility all the way up to $150,000 and removing roadblocks as well to eligibility. That means additional property tax relief for 50,000 more seniors. This means even more direct property tax relief for folks just like Clinton Freddie Banks, who has lived in his Willingboro home for 43 years. Freddie, stand up and take a bow, man. Great to have you. But our focus is not just in helping families and seniors like Freddie stay in their homes. It's also about helping young families find a place of their very own to call home. So today I ask you to join me in putting home ownership back within reach of hardworking families through a $15 million investment in first-generation home buyer down payment assistance. This has been particularly close to Sheila's heart, and it has been a key point of discussion by our Wealth Disparity Task Force. Alam Nunez de la Rosa is sitting up on the balcony right next to Freddie. Stand up and take a bow, Alam. Alam closed on his first home in Camden just 2 weeks ago, I'm told. A home, by the way, his 3 kids can call their home as well. And he was able to buy that home because of our down payment assistance program. Now we can help more homeowners just like him. Thank you for being with us. So new families and longtime homeowners side by side. That's what makes a community. This budget will see to it that our communities remain welcoming to every family. But affordability doesn't just come through what we can do directly for our families. Affordability is also found through the investments we can make to short-circuit rising taxes and costs in the first place. And no investment has such an impact as the one we make in our best-in-the-nation public schools. This budget will provide an additional $830 million in direct aid to our K-12 public school classrooms for a total of almost $11 billion. Making this investment will mean that in our 6 years of working together, we will have increased overall K-12 support to our schools, the increase by more than $2.6 billion. That's a more than 30% increase. And this, amen. This support is also critical, not just for keeping our public schools the envy of the nation, and they are, and, by the way, for lifting up others, but it will also help districts and educators to continue to turn around the learning loss we know occurred when the pandemic forced our students to move to remote learning. And to help push this effort even further, this budget will commit $10 million more for high-impact tutoring to support the students who most need it. This ups our total investment in academic recovery cumulatively to nearly $300 million. And if all of this wasn't enough, let's remember that every penny we provide for our students, educators, and schools isn't just an investment in the futures of our kids or the future of our community or economy. It's also property tax relief that lifts more of the burden off the local shoulders of taxpayers. There's far more we can do to make our state more affordable and more investments we can make to fulfill the promise of the next New Jersey. But we cannot make these investments unless our fiscal foundation is strong enough to sustain them. This is why this budget is also centered around fiscal responsibility. We've embraced a radical philosophy. Pay your debts and don't spend more than you make. Over the past 5 years, we have strengthened our foundation more than any administration in decades, and this budget will continue to reinforce our fiscal standing. And the proof of our renewed foundational strength is evident. In a span of 6 months last year, New Jersey received 3 credit rating upgrades. And these were welcome news, not just for the state, but for every single taxpayer. And our taxpayers get this. They know that when their credit score goes up, their interest rates go down, and more of their money stays in their pockets. That means they can get more at the supermarket, or put more away for a child's education, or for a new car, or a home. Well, it's the same thing for the state, except we save money on things like new roads and bridges and new schools. And when we save money, every single taxpayer saves money. We worked hard to put New Jersey in position to get its first round of credit upgrades in nearly 2 decades. And by the way, let's not forget that it was only a few short years after The prior administration oversaw 11 consecutive downgrades, leaving our credit perilously close to junk status. But I am not ready to stop at 3. So this budget is designed to support the next round of credit upgrades. It is designed to build even greater confidence in our direction and in our ability to honestly meet our obligations. To start, this budget will make the 3rd consecutive full payment into our state pension funds.
How you doing, all right? You good? Everybody good?
What is $7 billion among friends? Each year. By doing so, we keep our word and we meet our obligation to the many thousands of women and men whose work makes our state run and keeps our state safe. This budget will also set aside more than $2.3 billion to either pay down existing debt or keep us from taking on new debt entirely. But moreover, this budget will better prepare New Jersey for any national or global economic uncertainty with a surplus of more than $10 billion. And that is that $10 billion is nearly 20% of the entire budget. And that surplus is 25 times greater than the one in the budget we inherited in 2018. That one had a surplus of roughly $400 million, or just 1% of that year's budget. So why is this important? Because for too long, our fiscal house stood on a foundation of sand. Practically every year, the budget was signed knowing full well that the fiscal year would end in a looming deficit. And because of that, faith in our finances was at an all-time low. And unlike in Washington, we can't get away with deficits. This surplus, all 10 billion plus of it, is a signal to the credit rating agencies that we can pay our bills, that our foundation is strong. And even more, it's a signal to our taxpayers that we treat every one of their tax dollars with the same care that they do. And no one deserves more credit in restoring our balance sheet than State Treasurer Liz Moyo and her tremendous team. Well done. And because this is all connected, folks, because of this fiscal strength, this budget can take the steps necessary to secure more of our families in the next New Jersey by making them secure in today's New Jersey. For example, for our seniors, this budget will extend eligibility for the popular Pharmaceutical Assistance for the Aged and Disabled, otherwise known as PAD, and the Senior Gold programs to further cut the costs of life-enhancing, if not life-saving, prescription drugs. Under PAD, the average individual saves nearly $1,300 a year on their prescription drugs. That's real money for countless seniors and others on fixed incomes. And together, we can allow even more New Jerseyans to enjoy these savings. And to further increase prescription drug affordability, I asked you to work with me by passing the legislative package currently before you so I can sign it into law. A package that, among many other things, will help lower costs for more life-saving medicines, such as, importantly, insulin. We're close to the finish line, folks. Let's get across it. For our college students, this budget will increase tuition assistance grants, or otherwise known as TAG, for over 20,000 recipients. It will make even more students eligible for community college opportunity grants and the Garden State Guarantee at our four-year institutions by increasing the income thresholds for both of those programs from $80,000 up to $100,000. So for many students, this means they'll be able to attain their degrees without paying 1 penny out of pocket for tuition. Now listen, we all know that not every good job requires a college degree. But we also know there's no doubt that obtaining a degree can be a life changer for someone either aspiring to do more in their chosen field or deciding to pursue an entirely new career. So we will also be increasing our investment in the innovative Some College, No Degree program created by Higher Education Secretary Dr. Brian Bridges. Brian, thank you. This program is helping smooth the transitions of adult learners who left college, in some cases many years ago, but are now coming back to complete their degrees. These are paths we hope we can get more New Jerseyans to travel. They are the paths to some of the most rewarding careers. And right now, as we all know, there is a nationwide shortage of new educators. We feel this ourselves. So to pull more qualified folks into the profession, increase diversity, and begin closing our state's educator shortage, this budget will support a total of $15 million in either stipends for student teachers or the waiving of teacher certification fees. These are by the way, two initial recommendations from our public school staff shortage task force, and I'm proud to put them forward in this budget. This budget will also allow us to meaningfully take on the mental health crisis, especially among our youth. I've made youth mental health the focus of my chair's initiative through the National Governors Association. And as I work with my colleagues and experts from across the nation in rising to this challenge, I also want to make New Jersey a model. So this budget will launch the New Jersey Statewide Student Support Services Network to help countless more students focus on mental health wellness. And it will also enhance our overall investment in the Department of Children and Families and the Children's System of Care to more fully support the needs of our young people. We're also going to roll out statewide the Attorney General's innovative and successful Arrive Together program. Under Arrive Together, situations involving individuals facing a mental health crisis are responded to by a team. On the one hand, a plainclothes local police officer or a member of the state police, and on the other hand, a trained mental health professional. A mental health professional, just like Cumberland County's Elvira Smith. Elvira, please stand up and take a bow. And importantly, it is more often than not Elvira and the mental health professionals like her who take the lead to de-escalate a situation to protect all involved. Both our youth mental health initiatives and Arrive Together share a common core value. When we eliminate the stigma associated with mental health challenges, we save lives. We're also going to maintain our investment in the Cover All Kids program that ensures that every child feels like the bar is open up there. Cover all, I'm a Murphy, I've got no problem with that. I want to make sure you know that. Cover All Kids ensures that every child has access to vital health care coverage. We're going to expand access to the services for our veterans by seeing that every county has its own Veterans Services Office through the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. You good? Amen. God bless our veterans. And through the First Lady's initiative, we will continue to transform New Jersey's maternal health landscape into the national gold standard. I think I saw Tammy slip Josh a 20 to get him to stand there. And we will not stop until every mother begins her parenthood journey healthy and supported and ready to begin one of the most important jobs anyone will ever have. And protecting your health also means ensuring every family has clean water to drink, to cook with, and to clean with. So this budget will invest federal American Rescue Plan funds to continue upgrading and replacing our aging water infrastructure. We are on a multi-year path to securing clean water for every family, and this budget will keep us on that path. This budget will also invest significant federal American Rescue Plan funds in preserving affordable housing and at the same time creating urban workforce housing to support the families and dreams of those who are living on the front lines of the reinvention of our cities. Another barrier to affordability for many families is medical debt, a burden that has weighed heavily on the financial futures of countless New Jersey families. It has stopped many cold in their tracks. It's led others to consider bankruptcy as the only option. And it's prevented countless people from seeking critical medical care. So I propose a pilot program to eliminate the medical debts of potentially tens of thousands of New Jerseyans. Literally, and this is absolutely literally the case, for pennies on the dollar, we can remove a crushing weight holding down many families to get them back on track. And no one should go broke simply because they were ill. So as a general matter, these are all smart investments in our families and communities. But they are also vital ones for racial equity and ensuring those historically left at the margins have their place in that next New Jersey. So in this spirit, this budget will set up a new urban investment fund to work alongside our current business incentive programs to support the arts and the creation of parks and gardens, among other urban infrastructure, to help our cities not just become more inviting for new residents, but importantly as well for workers returning to downtown offices. And we're going to maintain our investment in our commuters by giving them a 6th straight year of no fare hikes on NJ Transit. And at the same time, we're going to cut the transfers from NJ Transit's capital programs to its operating program to a 21-year low. That means more money to keep the lines running. The facts bear out that NJ Transit is moving without question in the right direction. I stood here 5 years ago and said our administration would get NJ Transit working even if it killed me. I'm still here. Much to the chagrin of some. And NJ Transit is far better today than when Sheila and I took office, without question. We will create a brand new $100 million boardwalk fund to partner with our shore towns and counties, from the Wildwoods to Atlantic City, from Seaside Heights to Asbury Park, to ensure that the wooden main streets, which are the backbones of their communities, remain just that. The Boardwalk Fund will match county and local investments so our shore communities can do more with their money while also taking more of the load off of the shoulders of local property taxpayers. And while we're at it, we're going to give all New Jerseyans a second straight year of being able to enjoy our state parks, including Island Beach State Park, without having to pay an entrance fee. This budget will also invest state and federal funds along with our proceeds from the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative to make critical investments that will make our state more sustainable and resilient to climate change and move us towards securing our long-term clean energy goals. It will support projects like starting the build-out of the Garden State Greenway so future generations can benefit from what will be a true gem in our state park system. And one of those beneficiaries is with us today. Kennedy Fuller. Kennedy, stand up and take a bow here. Kennedy Fuller So let me tell you about Kennedy Fuller. And she's sitting next to her mom, so give her a shout out as well here. Kennedy Fuller is an 8th grade student from Jersey City and a Girl Scout cadet with Troop 10910 from the Heart of New Jersey Council. Kennedy and her troop mates went door to door to build support for building the Greenway. So let's get this project going for her and for them. Thank you, Kennedy. I had a chance to meet Kennedy backstage, as they say, and I have a feeling someday she may be giving a speech. And this budget will support goals like getting ourselves to a 100% clean energy economy by the year 2035. Investments like building out our statewide electric vehicle infrastructure, moving more of our housing and commercial building stock away from fossil fuels and toward energy efficient heating and cooling technologies, helping local governments buy zero emission trucks, and so much more. We are separately going to create a new $40 million green fund to be administered by the Economic Development Authority, as well as pump $12 million more back into the Clean Energy Fund. So all of this is how we take on the challenge of climate change. This is how we build a more resilient and sustainable future. And this is how we invest in the jobs of tomorrow. And everything we are doing underscores the wisdom of our re-entry into the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, otherwise known to many as RGGI. It bears repeating. Leaving RGGI was a failure of leadership. It was a fiscal failure that cost us nearly $280 million. Now, we've only been back in RGGI for 3 full years, but in this time alone, we have pulled in more than $365 million. And we're putting this money to work to build a more sustainable and resilient future for our kids, for our grandkids, and those who will follow. All of these investments in making our state more affordable and resilient are also making us more competitive. Competitive to not just keep families here, but to attract new ones looking for a home where their dreams can take flight and where good-paying, family-supporting jobs are ready for the taking. Securing that second part means making ourselves equally competitive for business. This is why this budget will allow the temporary 2.5% corporate business tax surcharge to expire. We hear from the business community that allowing the surcharge to lapse will mean more money for them to create jobs, to invest in new and more efficient equipment, to lower costs to consumers, and to be able to stay here. So just as they've trusted us to keep our word in letting this temporary surcharge expire, I'm expecting them to keep theirs with this revenue. But it is much more than this. Ending the temporary surcharge is simply one way we compete for the world's leading companies and at the same time make New Jersey the place where entrepreneurs will want to come to start new ones. Another way we compete for jobs, another way we make New Jersey an unmatched destination for businesses and, by the way, the workers they bring with them, is by leading with our values. I've said it many times before. Strong and progressive values, our New Jersey values, resonate not just around kitchen tables, but around corporate board tables. And we all know that across the country, states are racing to the bottom on everything from erasing a woman's right to control her own body, to telling students what books they can and cannot read, and educators what they can and cannot teach, to rolling back LGBTQIA plus rights, to undoing the most basic and common sense responsibilities for owning and carrying a gun, to pushing through anti-worker and anti-union laws, to undoing decades of progress on voting rights, and on and on and on. So not only are those policies against everything we believe in, it turns out they run counter to the beliefs of many companies that want to plant their flag where they can attract the top-tier talent they need. That's why this budget increases funding for public education, supports reproductive freedom, and fights climate change. It's why it is built to support a diverse state that has, by the way, among the lowest rates of gun violence of any state. It has the strongest... Thank you. This budget also supports the strongest protections for the right to vote in the country. It respects the dignity of all people. And those steps are alongside a whole other passel of investments in our values. From my first day in office, I rejected the false choice that you are either for business or for hardworking families. We can be competitive and more compassionate. A stronger economy builds a fairer New Jersey. And that is how we retain and attract the businesses of the 21st century and beyond, by being strategic, by living our values, and by staying true to our word. And while we're working to pass this budget, let's also commit to modernizing New Jersey's antiquated liquor license laws. This budget makes countless investments in our communities and in our main streets to secure their futures. And making a liquor license more affordable for more restaurants is a huge step to helping them secure their place in their community's future. After all, the majority of New Jersey's restaurants, they're not chains. They weren't started by a millionaire restaurateur or a celebrity chef. They are family-owned small businesses. And every single one creates jobs and supports the jobs of other small businesses by making their restaurants magnets that pull folks into downtowns. Affordability, community, competitiveness, fairness, jobs, helping hardworking folks find their place in the next New Jersey by securing their place in the New Jersey of today. These values are what liquor license reform is actually ultimately about. And it's what this budget is ultimately about for every New Jerseyan. So I look forward to working with you over the coming 122 days, not that anyone's counting, to deliver a budget for New Jersey that continues to strengthen the foundation of the next New Jersey. And I'm extremely pleased that unlike the past 5 years, this time we'll be in much closer proximity to each other. After nearly 6 years, the renovation of the Executive State House is finally nearing its end. I hope to be here and working in my new office in just a couple of weeks. Yeah. Feel free to stop by. I know that our work, whether it be on the budget or on any other issue, will be made easier when we can get together by walking across the hallway instead of driving down the street. I must extend my gratitude to every member of the building trades who spent a total of nearly 1 million hours working to restore one of the most historic and iconic buildings and the very symbol of democracy in New Jersey. During the height of construction, nearly 250 union workers were on site on any given day. And the pride, and the pride which they put into their work doesn't just show, it shines. So to each and every single one of them and to the entire construction management team, I say simply but sincerely, thank you. New Jersey's state government has met here since 1792, making ours the second oldest state house in continuous use in the nation. And it's more than just where the governor and the legislature work. U.S. senators, members of the House of Representatives, federal cabinet secretaries, ambassadors, a vice president, and a president have at one point each worked in this building. Countless New Jersey luminaries have been celebrated and honored under our dome. That guy, Abraham Lincoln, spoke here. The brass chandelier above us, which illuminates this chamber, was built and installed by Thomas Edison's workshop in the earliest days of electric light. What history this building has seen. And we can only imagine what history is yet to be made. Across 230 years, this building has been expanded, gutted, expanded anew, gutted again, and restored. And the story of the State House mirrors the story of our state. Because similarly, across the past 230 years, New Jersey has grown, been knocked down, picked back up, dusted off, and restored. But the rebirth of the State House mirrors the story of our 5+ years working together. New Jersey's cracks are no longer papered over, the leaks no longer plugged with duct tape, the faults no longer left for someone else to fix. We did this together, folks, and I thank you. It took hard work to build this Capitol, and it took more hard work to rebuild it. And that is a most New Jersey story. We work hard. And when you work hard, you should be able to provide a good life for you and your family and set up a future where your kids can do better than you. That is the American dream. And here is where we can rebuild that dream for every family in the next New Jersey. Yet the question on so many minds is this: is my hard work going to pay off? And what I often hear is, I'm not sure it will. I understand that doubt. It was a question that tested my own mother and father. Answering that challenge decisively is at the heart of this budget. And the answer is clear and emphatic. Yes, your hard work will pay off. This budget and our administration are dedicated to it. Everything in this budget and everything we seek to do is about growing and strengthening the middle class, about providing more opportunity and more affordability for hardworking families, and about building that next New Jersey that uplifts each of us and works for all of us. That is why this budget I present to the people of our state has more tax relief, more help for businesses to grow and create good-paying jobs, more investments to build a green economy and fight climate change, more affordable prescription drug assistance for seniors, more child care for young families, more help, bless you, to buy your first home and to stay in your current one, more commitment to making sure every child has access to health insurance, more public school funding, and more help to bring new educators to New Jersey's classrooms, more support for the kids who need it, and more attention to the bottom line to pay down our debts and secure the largest property tax relief program in our history. So in service to everyone who sent us here, let us join together as we shape this next budget and commit to this. The next New Jersey is where opportunity grows, where rights are protected, and where we fight for each other and not with each other. And most of all, let us continue making New Jersey the state where hard work pays off. Thank you. May God continue to bless the great state of New Jersey and the United States of America. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.